So everybody wants to write a book. Maybe you've already written your book and you're wondering what are the next steps to self-publishing. So I have self-published my own poetry collection and I'm here to guide you along the process so you don't give up, because there are many hurdles to overcome even after the book is already written. Okay, so here's my book, Something Was Off. I self-published it on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing or Amazon KDP. So the first step to publishing your book on KDP is actually writing your book, which is easier said than done, but that's the first hurdle and the first step. But once you finish that, there are many steps to go after you do the initial writing of your manuscript. The second step after you write your book is typing up your manuscript. It can be a really rough draft, so I type mine up on Pages on my Mac. It looked like this. I'll print it out. So then, once it's printed, for me, it's a collection of poetry. So I had to print it and I organized all the pages on the floor, and so you do edits of your manuscript. So you organize, you edit, you make sure that there's a cohesive flow. So you first type it up, you print it, you organize it. That's crucial because, especially for me when I was doing a collection of poetry, it's not only individual poems, it's the sequence of the poems, it's the flow of the poems, and it's making sure that they're all grouped together in a nice way to flow as a cohesive book. So once I thought everything was organized, I decided to do a first rough draft of my book, and this is my really ugly rough draft, and I just threw something together to see how it looks printed, because that's where the magic starts to begin. You have a rough draft and it's going to be probably really not the best. So then you need to edit, and edit some more. Have someone you trust, someone who reads a lot, also go over and proofread and edit, because when you keep rereading everything that you wrote, you miss out on some mistakes and typos that you just kind of, your eyes glaze over a little bit after a while. I chose KDP for the ease of distribution off of Amazon for the printing, and so therefore I wouldn't have to do my own distribution. I wanted to have full control of the royalties, and KDP just makes it super simple. With people buy books on Amazon, KDP prints on Amazon. You don't have to do any of the external things to putting it on Amazon. It's just all one seamless, cohesive unit, and it's a really great service. So this book was not done on KDP because I was debating if I should print on KDP or not. I think I used a website called Blurb, which this book ended up costing a lot for this rough edit. I tried to put fancy paper and photos on it, but it's really cute and it's my rough draft, and it wasn't properly formatted, so you can just scribble it out, go in and edit. One thing that I really notice on other people's KDP books is a lack of formatting. For me, formatting was crucial, especially in a poetry collection. It's part of the art form of the book. So editing your layout and your format and making sure it looks professional is the key to having a polished looking book. So many times when I look at a KDP book, the margins are really small. So for me, I wanted a wide margin on the inside and on the outside and on the top and bottom. That I thought really affected the look of it. So I used Adobe InDesign for my formatting and my editing of the book to create the look of it. And especially with poetry, it's not just the text, it's how it's laid out and how it's formatted. So please look into using InDesign for your formatting and make sure you have wide margins. That's a secret tip. And also another secret tip is to make sure you don't use size 12 font. Use a smaller font, it looks more professional, it looks more elegant, and you get a better overall look. So then you have everything nicely laid out, you have it properly edited, you've proofreaded probably 100 times, over 100 times, you've had friends, you've basically annoyed people reading your book. So what's next? Your cover. I made my cover design in Photoshop. KDP tells you the proper dimensions, because depending on how many pages you have in your book, the different sizes and the formatting to make sure that this little side seam is properly formatted, the back is properly formatted, the front is properly formatted. You need to use the guides of what KDP tells you, and then you can get creative with how you want it to look. So here's my author copy, not for resale. When I was doing the final edits, I had it with a black spine, and then I realized one thing that KDP does that's a little annoying is every time you print it, sometimes the formatting's a little off. So this little black bar, sometimes it would print, it would end up like slightly on the side or slightly on the not. So I just wanted to mitigate that problem with the printing consistency, and I just eliminated that. So that's another little tip, that the printing consistency, sometimes it's all over the place. So your book goes from the computer or your notes to a manuscript that you print, you organize, you have multiple different copies that you are going through, editing, perfecting, and making sure that it's all ready for publishing. And then you finally have your book. You have it all together and it's ready to go and be published. So then you need to decide on a price. You need to figure out how much you value your work, how much you value probably the many years you spent working on this, and the tears and the near giving up and the obstacles and the entire process that goes through this, and also the self-motivation to keep going when you reread your book hundreds of times. So you've done all of that and you're ready to publish. You have to come up with your description. You need to do basically what KDP tells you to do. So you upload a PDF file, you upload your cover design, you proofread within the KDP Publishing Center, and then I can recommend ordering another author copy just to make sure before you fully hit publish and submit that you have every little detail, every little T crossed, every I dotted, just to really go through with a fine tooth comb and make sure all of the edits are done. Preferably you have someone else look at it just to, again, get fresh eyes on there, and maybe they'll see something that you missed. So you're about to hit publish, you write the description of your book, you figure out a summary of what you want to say, and then finally you can take a deep breath and relish in the fact that you can hit publish and you did it, and the work was worth it because you are now a self-published author. So don't give up, keep going, even if it seems like really redundant and pointless, you will get there. And I wish you all really good luck with your books, and please, if you self-publish on KDP, comment about it. We can share books.